told me every night what the lesson was. They went to Bible school a couple weeks ago and had this same lesson. But the stuff that they told me, just, I was amazed. I was amazed at what they could remember. I can't remember my name every day. So, on the first night, we learned about a king. And anybody can answer, so I'm just going to ask you questions. But what did that king, what did he do? What did he want the people to do? He wanted the people to bow down to the Lord. See, they know the whole story. Okay. When you guys, do you remember the names of the? Yeah. Yep. Okay. Now, what happened when they wouldn't bow down? They got thrown into the furnace. Now, what happened after they got thrown into the furnace, Mark? How many people, when they opened up the furnace, how many people was actually in there? 4. Very good. Okay. Who was the 4th person? 5. Very good. Very good. And I just realized I jumped over a class, but oh well. Okay. I'm going to go and hand out my certificates. Madison Clark. And I also did the preteen class, and we had a lot of fun. And I made them
to pretend. That's kind of like what drama is all about. Just kind of pretend. So, with the holder of the sign, please start. Where's your signs at? Okay, the preteen class. Come on up. Come on up, preteens. Talia was my helper. She's a teenager, but she was a great helper. She rotated around. Okay, come on up. You're all tired. We were on the north end of the island today. We ran into a few things. We needed the balls to play with and floaties to be kissing. We all needed bandanas so that we didn't get too. And I gave them fans. So they got their bandanas and they've got their leis and they've got all their stuff. So we had a pretty good time today. I wanted to.
But there's only one more thing.
Yeah, what?
The snacks.
No. No. We started with team class and KK made the poster and I appreciate her so much. Thank you. So this palm tree was drawn by my granddaughter, Sarah, back there. Now, what we studied different things every day. Okay. We studied, first of all, we studied I Am With You, and that was about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego that was thrown in the fiery furnace. And it was the Son of God that saw them, right? And it was in there with them. Yeah, he protected them. And then, I care for you. And that was the story about Lazarus. He died, and Jesus came and brought him back to life again to show that only the Son of God can do that. He proved it to the people around that he could. And then, we did I Will Save You, and I Will Give You What You Need. Now, I Will Give You What You Need is one of them that I wanted to talk about with the kids. Okay, needs and wants. We learned about needs and wants. Okay, we learned what the difference between a need and a want was. Now, what is a need? Okay? Oxygen. Next. Water. Food. Shelter. Okay, we can put those down there, but we don't have time, I'll do it later. Oxygen, water, shelter. Okay, Nick said he needed food. About 5 times Nick needed food, so we kind of got the hint. Then we went into wants. Now, what did some of you guys tell me that you wanted? An internet. What else? $1 million pizza. Video games. A sports car. Were you the one that said Ferrari? Nick, you said Ferrari? He said his daddy was going to buy him a Ferrari. So that's wants. So the difference between needs and the difference between wants is a need is something that you need to say for your body. Food, water, oxygen, okay, shelter. But a want is something for the ego. And that is a Ferrari, $1 million pizza. I was asking them if they had all the money in the world that they could do anything that they want, what would they do? And that's what they came up with, some of the things they came up with. I know. So our verse was, I give you what you need. It's from Philippians 4:19. And Jesus, the story behind it. What was the story behind I give you what you need? What? Can you tell me one of the things that happened? 4 friends, what did they do? They brought a friend to Jesus to be healed. And what happened?
The person was paralyzed.
Yeah, he was paralyzed.
They couldn't, there's so many people that
They couldn't get to Jesus. So, what did these guys do? Remember I told you about the houses, the flat top houses? And usually they're made out of palm trees and mud. And they would layer them and let them dry. And then they would make stairways up the side so that in the evening when the sun went down, they could go up there and cool off, or they could go and they could pray or whatever. So what did these ingenious guys did? Yes, Nick?
cut a hole in the roof.
They cut a hole in the roof, and I could just see the owner. What are you guys doing to my roof? Who's going to pay for this? What's going to happen when right? Okay, now, what did the man want? What did the paralyzed man want? Yes. He wanted to walk. But before he walked, what did Jesus do? Remember? He gave him what he needed. And what he needed first, absolutely had to have, was forgiveness of sin. He forgave his sins. And then there were some Jewish guys that were there, and they are really nice people. And they said, well, who is he to forgive sin? Only God can forgive sin. And Jesus said, okay, is it easier for me to say I forgive your sin, or to pick up your bed and walk? And what did the guy do? He told him, pick up your bed and walk. What did the guy do? He picked up his bed and walked. And what did we say that that was? A miracle, because nobody can do that but God. That's something that human beings can't do. So the man picked up his bed and he walked. And that's one of the things that we learned during the week that really stuck with me. And then we learned that Jesus saves. And I asked them, what does save mean? And they said, to rescue from. And I said, yeah, absolutely. And you're rescued from the absence of God. You're rescued from his presence. And we talked about that. So we had a really great class. And we thought we would bring some things up here for you to see, our shells that we have. Who's got the shells? Okay, we got shells, we got rocks, we got all these things that we found. But most of all, what we found was that God cares for us. He will always be with us. He will always be there when we need him. And when we want him to come to us and live in us, all we have to do is ask him, and he will always be there, right, kids? He will always come and do that. So we had a great experience this week, and I'd like to hand out certificates to the kids. Kayla's not here. You gonna take her certificate? Who had Kayla? His friend. Okay. Kyle Faulkner's not here. I have some kids gone. McKenna. Nick, Sierra. Thomas Ingram isn't here. Haley. Aaliyah. Daisy. A little bit wet. I dropped it in the sand. Okay, Ethan isn't here, and Jared's not here. I think you're right, Christy. It's here.
And Jared already here.
Oh! Oh, how okay. These guys look alive. They were surprising me. Brandon. No. All right, hang on. Connor. All right. These guys are great. They taught me a lot. They just kind of look at you and just suck it all out of you. And that's good. That's good. They were interested. And I'm so glad to have them. And that was our preteen class. And we had a really great time on Promise Island. And all of God's promises, and we remember them, so you guys can do stuff.